Folks, Machinery Pete here. Special treat today. My longtime good friend Zach Hiner from Indiana. We're visiting with, and Zach, a couple things today. We got to talk about your big auction coming up on Tuesday, February 24th. I believe it's the equipment is it Columbia City, Indiana?
Columbia City, which is just north of me here a little bit, Greg.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that sale, and then I want to segue. And the big news, you've actually started your own auction company, Hiner Real Estate and Auction. So congratulations as we set sail here, but we'll segue and talk about that. But let's talk about the sale first. Again, it's the 24th for K&B Farms, a state sale for Kenny Rupley. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, Kenny and we talked a little bit there early on, Greg. I mean, locally here in Midwest, but I mean, Kenny was just kind of a landmark in the equipment business around here. I mean, very well respected, but he also farmed, and this was his personal lineup of stuff from the farm. This did not come from his machinery dealership. The people that come to the inspection here, I got two inspection days coming up, but the equipment dealerships on one side of the road and the farms on the other. So, but the people around here that knew Kenny, I mean, they were familiar with this stuff, and I farm around here in the neighborhood too. And I mean, this equipment's been in Kenny's operation for a long time. But yeah, Kenny been in machinery, Rupley Farm Equipment, I think 45 years. He passed about a year ago in March. But yeah, 45 years in the just kind of a landmark around here in the used equipment business. I mean, a lot of farm retirement sales that I've had in a 45-minute hour radius of here. A lot of the grain carts and the hopper wagons and the seed tenders, they all had the sticker on them. And if you saw the sticker, it says, "Where in the world is Rupley Farm Equipment?" and
I've
it,
seen them.
and it gave his address, because Kenny didn't do a lot of advertising. I mean, he was probably one of the last few of the old school jockeys around here that was still able to do it with very minimal advertising, and people just knew, and that's where they went to get that. I said he was Bush Hog, Underfirth, J&M. He had several short lines.
Sure.
He'd buy a lot of farmer closeouts, and this would be a good time to mention that he left the business to his employees there, Jim, Dave, and Jared, and they are going to continue to run the business, Rupley Farm Equipment. So when the people's up here checking out the inspection or checking out the equipment, right across the road, I'd encourage you to go over and visit with them too, because they still have a lot of inventory and going to continue to be in the business.
Nice. Well, again, Kenny, like you say, a legend in the used farm equipment business, and high quality and word is bond, trust with the customer. But the equipment on the sale on the 24th, that was from Kenny's farm operation, K&B Farms, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's just
So
hop in there and talk. We'll start with the tractors on the sale on the 24th, Zach. And by the way, folks, check out Zach's the new website, HinerRealEstateAndAuction.com. Hiner, Hiner. Of course, everyone in the farm equipment world knows that. They know Zach. By the way, the website looks great. Fantastic job. Variety of tractors. I'm gonna have a hard time not starting with the 4440 Zach, but we'll get to that. How about the Versatile, the 13 model 2375, under 2,000 hours on that thing?
yeah, so I have had several calls on that tractor, and they all want to know if the hours are right. The hours are right. Kenny did not buy that tractor new. My understanding was it came from Walker Russa, the Versatile dealer up there. Had just a couple hundred hours on it when Kenny bought it, but been in Kenny's farm operation, basically since a couple hundred hours. But I mean, the tractor's as legit as can be. Nice, good workhorse for somebody.
Is that, I forgot I didn't notice on the sale bill when I looked at it real quick. PTO 3 point or not? Or
No, no, just
oh,
just
okay.
no, bareback on the tractor. He had the high speed disc on it, and they just kind of used it as the tillage tractor. The high speed disc, the cultivator, and the 870 ripper was kind of what they did with that.
But what an opportunity here. You talk just over 10 years old, low hours, good quality. We know what the new stuff costs, so
This stuff, this stuff all came out of that big shed in the background, and I mean they had it tucked in there so tight you could hardly walk in between it.
right.
But it was all been shedded. I mean, it's just nice stuff.
And Kenny, his wife, had passed earlier, and they didn't have kids, so no, that's why the farm equipment is selling.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, they're continuing the machinery business. I sold some land for them. The guys kept a lot of land, but I did sell 367 acres for them there just a couple weeks ago on February 3rd. But yeah, they're not continuing the farm operation. The ground.
By the way, that land sale was gangbusters, Zach.
Yeah, I guess once again, Greg, I've talked about this before, but my wife and I talked about this. When we made this decision, end of September, 1st October, getting everything switched over, it's kind of busy auction time, and the guy that did my website does a lot of stuff in the auction world. He was kind of busy, so he didn't know for sure how quick it'd take to have a website up and going. But when your website pops up and the first thing you have is a 367-acre Indiana land sale. The business has been very good to me, very blessed, and I mean, we had a heck of a land sale. We did a live sale. You know, a lot of these are going to online only or virtual, and they all work and they all have their setting. But Kenny would have wanted a live sale. We went to the fair, the 4-H fair, Heritage Hall at our county fair, and Kenny and Barb were always big in the local fairs, and that's where he would have wanted to had it. And that's a big building, and we had it packed, and we had 10 tracks in there, and the sale totaled 5,228,000.
Not a bad first sale out of the gate for you, my friend.
Yeah, had a really good land sale, and like I said, rolled into the equipment here, and I just was very very blessed that had this opportunity as one of our first sales.
Well, there you go, folks. Hiner Real Estate and Auction. Yeah, not just the machinery, but on the land side, obviously, saw the results there. If we go down the tractor list, another low hour, just over 10-year-old, but a McCormick, a 14 model TTX 230, 715 hours on that thing.
Yep. So Kenny was a McCormick dealer, so he sold those tractors, and he had that one, and carried over, or however, and then he just rolled it into the farm, and all those hours were basically put on it there at the farm. That was on the Kinsey planter. We took all the wire and harnesses out of it, and that was kind of the planting tractor. Maybe did some other stuff, but that was the main planting tractor. But the guys told me, yeah, that was one that he didn't get sold, and they just rolled it over to the farm and kept it on the farm end.
Well,
So
again, folks, just consider the horsepower you're buying off a legend in the farming equipment business in Indiana there with 715 hours on a 12-year-old TTX 230 there. You're not going to see those every day. Okay, now we get to the 4440, Zach. A 1980 Power Shift, only 5,333 original hours on that thing?
yeah, so I kind of dropped the ball on this one, Greg. I usually kind of dig into that stuff right away, but I looked at that tractor, caught my eye, ran good, and we've had some cold weather here, and Randy
Yeah.
and I they're working on this thing, setting it up. The tractor always started good. I just thought, man, that's a legit old 4440. And then I got a phone call from a guy, Terry Keffer, a good friend of mine in the auction business, or I've dealt with Terry a lot, big farmer out south of town, and he says, "Hey, did you realize that tractor was Ira Banner's? Bought that tractor new. It's
Right.
a 3-owner tractor, but always been within a 25-mile radius of where it's setting now. The tractor's just as legit as can be. Power shifts smooth, and just if somebody wants a 4440 that's as legit, that's the one."
And for viewers here from many states away from where Zach is in Northeast Indiana,
Yeah, Northeast. I'm 25 minutes southwest of Fort Wayne.
right? So when we talk about this equipment, I mean, I've been tracking prices 36 years. When I put a grid to it, Northern Indiana, I mean, the quality of equipment, the customers, we've covered many of your sales over the years, Zach. I mean, owner operated, well cared for. We have long winters that shedded, just high quality stuff, folks. So if you're looking at this sale, Zach has got some high quality stuff on this sale, as you can see with these pictures. Also, another Deere tractor, 73 4430 quad range. So if you want a little, if you're a 30 series guy, you got an option there too.
Yep, and I mean I don't know a lot about the history of that tractor, but I know it's been around there on the farm. When I first went and looked at this equipment, after Kenny passed, I just had to do an appraisal for the estate, and that tractor was on the bush hog when I first looked at it. But the same thing, just you can look at the tractor and just tell it's a legit, just a legit tractor.
We're not,
It's the 856, and I'm gonna probably get ahead of you, Greg, but
I was going to say, we're not leaving out the red folks here either.
been completely overhauled at some
Sure.
time or another. I didn't advertise recent because it wasn't recent, but the only thing that they've really used it for is just running the auger over there at the bends, and just, kind of a putting around tractor. And same thing.
Right.
I mean, start good in the cold, just a straight nice
It's
856
just a
tractor.
good old friend, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And while we're on tractors, Greg, I'm gonna get a little sidetracked because they didn't make the brochure. They kind of got forgot about. But
Okay.
make sure you check the website for the updates. Kenny had a couple old antiques that were. He's got a 130, a 100 Farmall, a Super MTA, and I guess I'm not an expert on these, but I have had several people tell me there is a Farmall C wide front with a fast hitch. Tell me it's pretty rare. So while we're on the red guys, if you got an interest in them old antiques.